recorded. The difference between table filter and boolean filter is the boolean filter, boolean expression filters filters columns or measures and returns true or false values for each row or a data point, whereas the table filter expression filters tables and return tables. That's all. Okay. What is the difference between filter and calculate table? That is what we have seen. Calculate table is typically used when you need to create a dynamic table expression with specific filters or conditions, whereas it is useful when you want to filter an existing table to focus on specific that meets certain criteria. But the filter function was not overriding the or modifying the existing filter context, right? So whereas the calculate table replaces the existing filter context. Okay, whatever the condition that you use it here, that one remains as it is. Even though a filter comes from your slicer, it still remains constant. Okay. The next one is the all function. All we already discussed. The all returns table. The all function returns a table, or you can return all the values in a column also. And also the other advantage of all is it ignores any filters or clears any initial filters that might have been applied. It is useful for clearing filters and creating calculation on all rows in a table, and all will only work with a physical table reference. It is useful for clearing filters and creating calculation on all rows in a table. Okay, so now we will take a look at the all function again. So yesterday we discussed, but still it is not a comprehensive one. And I'm going to just show you again here. I'm going to create a matrix visual here. Since I have expanded, locating the visual is a little bit difficult. And here the matrix visual, and I just go here, and then I'm going to select the category column. I'm going to drop this over here. And then the sales column, I'm going to do it. And like I've shown you, the ship mode. Okay, before we do that, we'll start with a simple example. And here, okay, we are done with this. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the all function. Okay. Supposing you have a requirement. There is a requirement. 1 second. Yeah. So there is a requirement, something like if they want to do, there is a reporting requirement, wherein in this visual, along with the sales, you need to specify the percentage of sales contribution by category out of the total sales. So in Excel, we do it in a very simple way. We take this value and divide by this total, and here you will get the percentage of sales contribution by this furniture category. You can find out. And similarly, you take this value here, you put equal sign, and this column, this cell, value, divided by this cell, right, number. If you specify it, it will give you the percent. But here it is not that way. You cannot do it that way. So how do I find out that? So that is where the all function is very much helpful. I'll just create a measure here. I just go to the modeling. Instead of going to modeling tab every time, right? The best thing you can, you can select your sales analytics measure table which you create. Next to that, you can see the three dots. That is what your ellipses. Click on this new measure, so that whenever you create a measure, that measure will get assigned automatically to this one. But when you use modeling tab and create it every time, you need to select the table manually and you need to assign it. Let's wait for some time. It is opening the formula bar. And here, I'm going to put this one here. All sales. I just use all sales. Here I'm going to use the all function. I'm going to press enter now. So the all function remove the filter from all the columns. That means, the visual level filter, row level, column level filter, and any external filters will not get applied. So now I just drop the all sales here. Yes, it's doing perfect job. Look here, in this case, what happened? This total sales, sorry, this is the total sales. This total sales got repeated across the rows, right? And here there is some issue. Yeah, because of this thing, right? I just clear this one measure. Here you have some blank value. Better I'll just remove this one now. The slicer. But still there is a blank value. Let us go here and check why is that a blank value or okay. In this case, category, okay, the sales and all sales, everything. In this case, I've used the all function. In the all function, what it does is it repeats the total sales across the rows. You might be wondering why the total sales should be repeated across the rows. First of all, let us understand what the all function does. The all function, it overrides it simply ignores the filter comes from the row level, right? Row level, column level, even the external filter also, it is going to ignore it. Okay, that is what I discussed in my yesterday session. Okay. So in that case, what happens? It repeats the overall total sales across the rows. Okay, what is the purpose of this and what am I going to do with this one? Yes. So now this is really helpful. This is really helpful. How? This is helpful to compute the percentage. Like I said in Excel, how we compute the percentage of contribution by each category, that is not possible here. In this case, since you have displayed the total sales across the rows, you can take this value and divide that by this value into 100. You can take this value and divide by this, you can get that value, right? So I'm going to create another measure. Yes, Suji, you are correct. Suji, Aishu, you are correct. Yeah, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this measure. So I'm going to use a divide function. There is something called divide measure for the DAX function. Percentage of sales contribution. Here, what I am going to do is I'm going to use the divide function. Divide. So numerator, denominator, alternate result. So the numerator, what is the numerator? That the sales in this case, right? So instead of using sales, I'm going to use the measure total. Yeah, you are correct. You are correct. Aishu, you are correct, right? The numerator and the denominator is your all sales measure. Comma 0. So this is an alternate. See, for example, if you divide the numerator by this denominator, if it gives some error or something, put 0. Okay, this kind of error handling. So now my another measure is ready here. Okay, 1 second. I just remove the 1. I don't know why I have 1 came here. Oh, that is because of line number. I just drag and drop this here. Look here, it gives me the percentage, right? 34. You can also multiply this by 100. Okay. So 34 the 77 lakh out of 2.26 million is 34% of contribution. The 34% of revenue contribution came from furniture, 26% revenue contribution came from office supplies, 40% revenue contribution came from technology. If you add all these things, it should come around 1. 40 plus 26, 66 plus 3400, 1, right? So in that kind of situation, the all sales is very much helpful. But from the reporting requirement point of view, this column is not helpful. Okay, hence we can remove the all sales. But how did you arrive this one? With the all sales measure only, we are able to arrive this one. Got it? Fine. So what do we conclude with? What do we summarize with all function? All function returns a table, but in this demonstration, I have shown you how we can clear the filters, right? It simply cleared the filters, the visual level filter. It simply return the total sales across the rows. Even if you apply slicer or filter pane using filter pane building, so that one will not get changed, the all sales measure, because there I have used the filter modification function all on a sales W04 table. Okay, irrespective of the visuals or irrespective of the values that you select in the slicer or irrespective of the columns or visual level filters, it will not get affected. It will display 2 to 6 across the rows. Hence, the advantage is you can take this one and divide by in the denominator. You can close your eyes and use the all sales measure. Okay, that is how you have arrived this one. So next function is the all selected function. All select is a pretty simple one. It removes context filters from columns and rows in the current query while returning all other context filters or explicit filters. Yes. So here, to demonstrate that, I have to use a slicer. In this case, I'm going to use the category column. Because here I've used the category column as the first column, I just drop this one in the visual. And for example, if I select furniture, it shows only the furniture sales, right? Okay. So what I am going to do is, for the sake of our understanding, I'm going to use the all sales also. I'm going to drop it here, all sales, for your reference sake. Because if I share the file, you can use it to refer it, right? So that's the reason why I'm putting it here. Because this is the total is displayed across the rows. And the percentage of this one, it shows here, okay? And what are the other things that we need to know here? The next thing is all sales and all selected. We want to know the all selected. So I just go here and click on the 3 dots, new measure. All selected measure, measure. This is for demonstration purpose, okay? Don't use this naming convention in the real world scenario. Here I'm going to use the calculate function. You're correct, Suji and Aishu, you're correct. So here, total sales 1. So guys, believe me or not, if please concentrate here. It seems others are not concentrating. Otherwise, what will happen is you will have to refer multiple sites. Okay. So, there are free training, but the training will not help you. I don't think so. They will cover this much in detail. Okay, look here. Here I'm going to use the all selected function. In this case also, I'm going to use sales underscore W0. Instead of all function, I have used the all selected function. I'm going to press enter. Now we can see that all selected got here. Selected. So in this case, you can easily do a search here. We don't have to do a search since we have a dedicated measure. Look here, both the all selected and all measure, all function on all selected function display the same output. The total sales, whatever we see it here, that is the one got repeated across the rows, right? It might, tempted us to think both the functions behavior is same. it is not same. How? I'm going to select furniture and technology here. In this case, what happens is it computes the total sales for all the category across the, it display the total sales for all the category across the rows. Which one? The all function. The all selected function previously, before I apply the filters using the slicer, it was showing same as this value, but after I applied the filter in the slicer, the all selected, it obeyed the external filter. It display only the furniture and technology related total. But in this case, what happened? Whatever the categories that are visible, whatever the visible categories, for that corresponding total sales only repeated across the rows here and here. Right? This is the visible categories total sales. That is the one getting displayed here. Whereas the all sales, it displays irrespective of the filter that you apply it, it displays the total sales of all the things. But at least all selected now, right? It obeys the external filter, but still it ignores the internal filter, the visual row level filter, it ignores that. It's something like, I just give you this analogy, right? Let's say you have a brother in your home. So, you never, obey our parents' instructions or something like that, right? But when somebody from outside, when they come and shout at him, you will listen to them. The same thing happens with all selected. All selected, internally, it is not obeying it. The visual level filter is not, row level filter is not happening on the total sales. But this it obeys for this one, right? So the only for the visible total, visible categories total sales, it is repeating it across the rows. Whereas the all sales, he never respect the internal as well as the external. There are guys, right? They never listen to the family's advice and outside advice also. That is what all. We just think that way. This is a simple analogy, maybe a stupid analogy, but with this you should be able to understand very clearly. Now the question is, why should I? So here it is fine. It gives me the percentage of contribution out of the total sales. But now why should I need this one? This is the one gives me the percentage of contribution of each category out of the total sales. Now I wanted to know what is the percentage of contribution out of this visible categories total. So 77 lakh 40,000 divided by this 90 lakh this one. How do I? So in that case, again, you need to use a divide function. Look here, already we have used the divide function. Where is that? The all sales and percentage of sales contribution. New measure. This is a very important concept. If you could not concentrate, please watch my video. I'm going to share this one and practice it. In this case, percentage of sales contribution by visual total. Okay, by visual something. Okay, where is that? It got created. 2% of sales should come here. Working on it. Yes. So visual total. Okay, I just select this visual. This is where we want to display this one. Sorry. By visual and percentage of sales contribution, right? This is the one. And in this case, let me do one thing. Percentage of sales contribution by visual. Okay, all selected. Here I should have used all selected. You are correct, Suji. Yeah, you already mentioned. I did not see that. All selected measure. So out of the total 2,26,000, right? So 77 lakh out of this one is 0.34, and this one out of this one 0.40. But in this case, for the visual, the the categories that are visible. For that, this is the total sales. So now you tell me, out of this visible categories total, give me the percentage of contribution. So this one divided by this one and this one divided by this one, that is what it shows. Are you able to understand or not? If you are not able to understand, then you are not concentrating here. See, this one, so if your manager is asking you something like, give me the furniture, how much, sales contribution from, furniture out of the total sales. Total sales is this one, all the categories put together. This one is this one. And this one is, in this case, after I apply the filter for furniture and technology alone, you give me the total sales. Out of the total sales, what is the revenue contribution by these two categories? That is what it shows. It's as simple as. I think you guys are tired. I'm going to stop this as of now. You got overrun. I'm going to share this video, and also I'm going to share this when you watch my video. Without fail, you practice it. Yes, Deepa and Sudha, you mentioned, right? Yeah, tomorrow we will take a break. You can start practice it. And instead of tomorrow, we'll have it day after tomorrow, okay? And next Tuesday, we will have a test on the DAX importantly, okay? Since prepare DAX part, it's very important. You understood what is the necessity of using all function, all selected in this scenario, right? So this is the one we use it in most of the scenarios, the all and all selected. Then it is very much important. With this, I'm going